You doubting me? You doubting me? I don't see anybody else here, so you must be doubting me. Not gonna lie, I was doubting me. I wasn't sure I could pull it off, but I did. I did. A little bit. Just a little bit. I did. Big wins. Wow. I was expecting Mamdani to win, but there is a slew of other Democratic races that I was very surprised. I mean, this was nearly a 10 out of 10, like perfect dive off of the board, no splash. That's about as good as you can get. This only splash that came is like the size of a nickel being thrown into the water. This is huge. Considering several things. One, it's not even a midterm. But two, even for midterms, voter turnout is historically, depressed, low. But this saw some massive turnout with massive, huge, ginormous, gargantuan, galactic, Atlantean, massive swings towards the Dems that I would not have thought possible under the best of circumstances, even if Obama were running for a third term. He could be running for dog catcher, and I wouldn't have expected this kind of a swing. Like, wow, this is big. By the way, because the TikTok censorship fascists are on the rise, this thread is for informational purposes only. It's for your education. These are my opinions. It is your job to do your own research. Hello to everybody that is just joining. Covering Mamdani and the Democrats' big win. My longest big yeah boy ever. Okay. Enough with the shenanigans. Let's get down to some screenshots, shall we? So, where do we start with this? Let's start here. So, this is just interesting to be aware of. So these are a lot of the polls, right? They were showing the polls in New Jersey specific, which was Mikey Sherrill running for New Jersey governor, which this is also a pretty big win because the polls, as you can see, were showing it very neck and neck. We're showing it very, and many times, favoring the Republicans. And yet, that's not what ended up happening even at all. So the closest one here was Quinnipiac poll came out the closest, 51-44, when the actual results were 56.3 to 43.1. So about as close as you can get, and still off by by a good 5 percentage points. Man, I don't know what is going on with the polling industry, but it is more broken than my old car. Like, this is broken like my heart after my divorce. Like, this shit is just bad. Look, this was the average, right? 48.9 to 45.6 favoring Mikey Sherrill by 3 percentage points. So he was favored overall by 3 percentage points. Look at the actual spread. The average of these polls were nearly 10 points off. I mean, talk about not even hitting the broad side of the barn. You didn't even make it to the friggin' barn, You like chucked it and it went at your foot. This is insane to see this huge discrepancy. By the way, this is for educational purposes only. These are my opinions. It's your job to do your own research. Okay, so moving on. The problem with these is I can't. The problem with these is I can't. So these are pretty huge. Dems won 2 open statewide judge seats. That was, does it have this one about the SCOTUS? There was also the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. 3 Democrats were up, and they won that. They flipped the Erie County exec and defend surrounding. I can't tell. I don't know why it's cut off. I formatted this specifically for TikTok and it's still wrong. Flip New York's Honda and Dutchess counties. Seattle GOP city attorney trails big, so he might lose. Minnesota Dems defend the state Senate. Dems defend swing legislative seats in New York and Washington. I mean, these are huge, huge wins. This is, I mean, again, this is a 10, and it keeps going, right? Look, Krasner and Bragg win. Coloradans fund free school meals. JD's half-brother loses. Pennsylvania Dems slip Erie County exec and Bucks DA sheriff. Oust all GOPers from the Bucks County school boards. Now, if I remember correct, this was a big center, ground of right-wing takeover that started with a lot of the anti-trans and, the Proud Boy terrorists were going in there and intimidating a lot of the school board people when they were running for office. Charlotte approves transit tax. Dems slip Connecticut. Towns like New Britain, which is apparently huge. So again, this is more Prop 50 wins. Virginia Democrats flip the governor, the lieutenant governor, the attorney general. They gain legislative seats in Virginia. The Virginia House of Delegates, previously was split almost like 51, 48 or something. And now it's split 63 to 37. It's incredible. My math is off, but it's something like that. They also gain seats in New Jersey and Minnesota. Defend the New Jersey governor. They win trifectas in both New Jersey and Virginia. Of course, there's Mamdani. They won the state Supreme Court. Maine anti-mail voting measure loses. Georgia Dems flip 2 statewide seat offices. This is also huge. This is something that hasn't happened in decades. If I recall, I read that it hasn't happened since 1969 or something like that. And then, of course, Mamdani is the youngest New York City mayor since the 30s, something to that effect. I might have those statistics flipped. I don't think so, but anyways, huge. This is a huge, so huge, it's so huge I can't fit it into my ballroom, even though it's huge and made to accommodate Air Force One, but still, everything that happened here can't fit in there. I need to knock down more of the East Wing. I need to knock down the whole West Wing, take down the entire White House, and we will have a ballroom big enough for the Democrats wins. Other W's, as the kids say. The W's like this. It'll fit. This is beyond my wildest dreams of what I thought would happen. By the way, this thread is for educational purposes only. These are my opinions. It is your job to do your own research. By the way, I love how people are saying Trump is knocking down the East Wing of the White House so that he can build a bunker at the White House. It's you don't think the White House already has a bunker? You're so cute, you people. You're so cute not thinking the way us doomsdayers do. Oh, you probably think most people have good in their heart, too. Oh, you're just pinch your little cheeks, you. Anyway, so what's also amazing about all of this is the swing that we're seeing in some of these areas. So check this shit out. Look at this. Look at this. Across the board. Spanberger, this is specifically in Virginia, right? Look at this. Even in the place that the Republicans did end up winning the counties, look at these swings. 16 points, 8 points. I can't see what that one says. I think 12 points. 9 points. 15, 16 points, 11 points. There was one place in Georgia, if I recall, one of these Georgia elections where the swing was 30 points. From Trump to the Democrats being Trump plus 20 to being Democrat plus 11. It was a 37-point swing. This is insane. And look, this is what happens when you fuck with people's groceries. Yes, there was obviously legitimate inflation under Biden, and a lot of that is, by the way, is greedflation, because the corporations realize that, hey, we can just raise prices and blame it on inflation, and Biden will take all the blame, and we get to keep all the profits. Ooh, I sense an evil plan coming on. Let's tell our board of directors this and get caught on tape, and then get it released by the media, and then nobody fucking does anything about it. We don't go to jail or anything. Even that evil Lena Khan, she didn't do anything to us. Not to say I don't like Lena Khan, but the fact that these literal price gouging activities happened and were recorded and documented beyond a reasonable doubt, and corporations got away with it, no one went to jail, no one was fined, is fucking sane, and it's why we need to tax the shit out of the rich. Anyways, moving on. This is for educational purposes only. These are my opinions. It is your job to do your own research. Okay, so check out some of these swings here. So this is Baker County, Georgia, right? 2016, it was Trump, 8.6. 2020, he won it by 15.7 points, won it by 19.8 points. Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. This is the damn near 30-point swing, right? From Trump, that's 20 to, that's a 30, almost a 35 point. Yeah, it's almost like an even 35-point swing to the Democrats this year. That's insane. And this is a midterm. That's crazy to think that people turned out for this. And this wasn't even a big job. It was like, it wasn't the fucking dog catcher, but it wasn't exactly for the senator either, if I recall. I mean, this is insane. I think it was for like a public commission or something like that. And look at this too. This was in New Jersey. The mayor actually switched parties to endorse Jack Ciattarelli, the Republican challenger. So Trump was up 8 points in New Jersey. It swung to the Democrats by 20 to plus 21. That's what, a 29-point swing? What is happening? Like, I feel like I took a dose of heroin and I'm having like a trip. And I'm just hallucinating all of this. It's insane. By the way, this is for educational purposes only. These are my opinions. It is your job to do your own research. Don't ban me for making a drug joke, TikTok. Don't do it. Calm down. This thread is almost over anyways. So these swings are just insane. Let's see here. Oh, wait. I already showed this one. Oh, this is a little bit more. Yes, they flipped that. They flipped that. Trifecta. J.D. Vance's brother loses in Cincinnati. Last GOP in Orlando council gone. This also is something that's historic. This hasn't happened for a long time. Yeah. Okay, so I covered most of that. Let's see. What's this one? Here's another thing that I feel is very important. Mamdani won 9% of Trump 24 voters. Now, keep in mind, this is the guy that the establishment, everyone from Hillary Clinton to Chuck Schumer to Hakeem Jeffries to Obama even, everyone in the Democratic establishment and current to former leadership did not or refused to endorse Mamdani, or in some cases even endorsed his challengers, right? And they're always saying, like, what was Kamala's whole thing during 24? She was trying to reach across the aisle. Let us hold hands with the people that secretly want to murder us in our sleep. It'll be okay. Turn your back on them while you give a speech. Nothing possibly could go wrong. This is for educational purposes only. These are my opinions. It is your job to do your own research. This is a joke. I'm joking. This is satire. Hello, TikTok fascist censorship machine. It's satire, okay? So, but it's incredible. Like, Kamala Harris had war criminal Liz Cheney, who supported torture, by the way, and she was working with her hand in hand, which turned off a lot of voters. And this showed up pre-election, but they kept doing it anyways because, you know, Democrats are going to Democrat. And what did they get for it? Did they even get a single Trump voter that voted for Trump in 2020? And then voted for Kamala instead? Did they? Really? I don't buy that. But with Mamdani simply talking about like actual issues and not bowing down and not backing off from his stated positions and speaking truth to power and being authentic, which Kamala could not be authentic in her wildest dreams. She could not be authentic if she were caught on candid camera, okay? This is a woman who would put on a performance for reality TV. Kamala is not a real person. She will say whatever will get her elected. Kamala should not run again. She should fade into obscurity and stay that way. This is for educational purposes only. These are my opinions. It is your job to do your own research. So with Mamdani speaking truth to power, talking about the actual issues that are affecting people, won 9% of Trump voters. The people that the Dems keep talking about how much they want to win. The Democrats fight harder to get the votes of people that fantasize about killing them than they do with the left, who ask them to just say, genocide bad. What sense does that make? All you have to say are literally 2 words, genocide bad. And the left would come fucking running. You would still have to make some changes, you would still have to do better, but that would go a long fucking way to making amends and bringing in the people of whose bridges you burned by rigging it against Bernie, by screwing over the left with Kamala and not wanting to go after billionaires. I mean, just saying genocide bad is a huge first step. Anyway, I think that's all my slides. That's all the slides I have for today, class. So now there's this big win, clearly a big mandate. The question is, will they deliver? Let's look at Mamdani for a second, right? He's talking about fast and free buses. He's talking about neighborhood government grocery stores. He's talking about rent freezes. He's talking about funding the MTA and making, I don't recall if he's talking about making that free, but I thought it was. But I know he wants to fund the MTA so the subway isn't so shite. These are all he wants to tax the rich. He wants to arrest Netanyahu. These are all big things. And they are achievable. They're absolutely achievable. This is America. I'm so tired of people saying, oh, we can't have free healthcare. Oh, we can't feed children. Oh, we can't have affordable housing. And yet we can still send bombs to fucking Israel, which does enjoy free government healthcare based on our taxpayer dollars. But we can't have any nice things. The nice things all have to go to people overseas, not Americans. By the way, this is for educational purposes only. These are my opinions. It is your job to do your own research. So, look, there is a big mandate now, and the simple fact is that Mamdani and others have to deliver. If you can deliver, this will change the world. This will change the country. Thank you, Shirley. I appreciate that. This will change the way government is done. And perhaps, for once, we could have a government that is run by the people and for the people and of the people. But guess what, Democrats? Now that you're in power, you've got to actually use it. So stop being pansies, sit at your desk, and get the job done. That was a very undramatic exit of this live stream. Okay. Bye.